Now it's on. Welcome to the channel, I'm Listening Fans. Today we'll be talking about the legacy hammer subject. We've already done a video on that topic, but let's see what the viewers have to say live. Because as we have seen in the past, this topic is not going to go anywhere until Devon Larratt decides to end it. And it's quite clear that finally, when the Europeans have found a weapon against Devon, to kind of use it against him, to frustrate him, to make him, to get him pissed off, they are going to use it for as much as they can. Restart stream if you don't see anything. I hope you see me right now. I hope you hear me right now. I hope the audio quality is okay. Please let me know if all of these things are fine. The YouTube wall. Stacy Morgan in the house after a very long time. Welcome back, brother. Tall Paul Hutchins Jr., Mr. YouTube wall. Let's see, WTF. John right-handed goat, Dennis left-handed goat, Devon all-time clown. So speaking of the goat subject, in that interview, John was asked who the left-handed goat is, and he said it's Denis Siplinkov. It's not even a question. Obviously, Devon disagrees with that too. He thinks that Denis is not the left-handed goat. In fact, it is maybe Levan or Vitali or whoever Devon thinks is the best left arm of all time. But Devon doesn't consider Denis to be that guy. And I have to kind of disagree with Devon here. Do I think that Denis beats this version of Vitali that we are seeing right now? Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. But then we also have seen that Morozov still has a chance against Vitali on the left arm, and people are saying that Dadikian has a chance to beat Vitali on the left arm. Would Dadikian and Morozov beat prime 2014 to 2018 Denis Siplinkov? Now the question becomes interesting because not many people are going to say yes to that question. So why do you think that Vitali will beat Denis in his prime? Maybe he will, maybe he won't. This is a question that we can only speculate as of now, and we are never going to know the answer to this. So let's stop trying to make any more guesses here. I've already discussed that topic many times on the channel. The letter was translated for Denis before in Russian. Yes, I've seen that clip that Devon shared on his Instagram, and it was being translated live. And the YouTube captions are also the same, which Devon translated on Google Translate and posted it on his Instagram story. That thumbnail of Dennis is a complete unmitigated disaster. AI needs to be stopped. Block this spammer. Who is the spammer? The Pradeepster and the Pradeepamaniacs. Woo. Yo, Pradeep, talk a bit louder, okay? I was waiting ahead of time, but often the viewers need to refresh. Okay, got it. Stormbreaker overpowered the gauntlet. Yeah, I don't know what the Stormbreaker is. I kind of know the reference. They've talked about the Marvel movies, but I've only seen one Marvel movie, the Endgame, and to be honest, I didn't really like it because I don't know the backstory. So Hammer looks cool. I have nothing against the hammer. So the situation is WL started these hammers. Cool Trophy, WL started around 2014. And then the Super Match series started a little bit later. I'm not sure if the hammers were there when the tournament format was there, just purely the tournament format in WL, or they were introduced when the Super Matches started. I'm not really sure about that. Let's say it started somewhere between 2014 and 15. Let's say 2015. Now, the one problem with hammers is, and I said Devon is also wrong on a couple of aspects here. I only mentioned one in that video, which was when he was saying that some of the haters of the hammer bring up this point that it is a 225-pound hammer. I often bring this point up, and I've never been a hater. I think that's the best trophy in the arm wrestling game, and I think the concept is also one of the greatest concepts out there, the concept of the legacy hammer. I really like it. So and I keep on bringing that point because it is the truth. It is the 225-pound hammer. Devon was the best in the world in 2012, but he wasn't when WL started those hammers. So if Devon can go back a couple of years, if it truly represents the best arm wrestler in the world, then 90% of the names, if there are 10 names on the left and right hammer combined, shouldn't even be there. Devon's name on the left arm or on the right arm should not be there on neither of those hammers. Maybe we can talk about the right arm hammer because Devon did beat Ermes Gasparini to become the East versus West champion, and East versus West is considered as the biggest, the elitist league as of today. And it is not Devon's problem that Levan was injured. He wasn't there to win that title. If he won it against Hermes, then maybe, yeah, he deserves the shot. Then Hermes Gasparini's name should also be on there because he also won that title. Jerry also won that title. Gennady also won that title. None of these guys truly are the best in the world around that time. No, Gennady didn't win the title. Gennady never won the title. Jerry won it. Who was the first title holder in the super heavyweight division right arm? Can anyone refresh my memory? Who was the first East versus West super heavyweight title holder? I know Jerry had it. I know Gasparini had it. Dave, no, not Dave. Dave had the WL hammer. I'm WL super heavyweight hammer, right arm. 2015, and then Travis won it in 2016. We got Conor McGregor versus Ermes in a UFC fight. Will Ermes train Brian and Devon will train Leonidas? That's interesting. Devon can train both. Jerry's first, okay. Devon never complained. Devon's complaint isn't that he doesn't have the hammer. His complaint is that the champ doesn't have it. And yeah, that one great point that Devon made was I was never even in the contention of the left arm super heavyweight hammer, and still I was talking about it, and he still is talking about it. So it's not like Devon wanted it for himself. The hammer was gone from his hand, so it either belonged to Morozov or later it belonged to Vitaly Leletin. Devon had nothing to do with it, and still he keeps on talking about it. That clearly shows that he cares about the subject, and that maybe somehow shows us that we should also care about it. But apparently, the European arm wrestlers don't, and that is a problem. And it's just ethically a wrong thing. Like, somebody gave you, I can still call it a gift. Maybe it's not a gift for some particular reason with some conditions, and now you accepted that gift and you're not fulfilling those conditions. It's like when Devon says please return the hammer to Morozov, or when he tells Morozov please return the hammer to Vitaly, and when they say no, like, I want to know what is going on through their mind, like how anybody in their right mind can think like that. They should create a new hammer. Would it have the same effect, like the athletes having the feeling that yes, we held this hammer? And the right arm hammer has the names of John Brezink. I think it has the name of Marcio Barboza. Maybe 2014 Ron Bath too. Ron Bath, I think he beat Devon in the finals, or who did he beat? Maybe, I'm not sure about Ron Bath, but it has John Brezink. It has Marcio Barboza's name on it. It has Devon Larratt on it. None of these guys were even remotely close to being top 5 in the world. Not even close to top 5 in the world. I'm talking about the right arm. From 2014 to 16, 17. Not even close. And yet their names are on there. That's the problem with having a 225-pound hammer as the legacy hammer. In the new hammer, they can add all these names. But the thing is, should they? Should they? That's my question. I think they should start from the place where the hammer was defended in the super heavyweight division for the first time. So it doesn't matter where Devon's hammer came from. But since Devon was fighting for the super heavyweight WL title against Michael Todd had that hammer. So I initially thought that it was Michael's super heavyweight hammer because Michael already had that hammer. He won it in 2017, I think, at WL. He had that hammer, and then he was defending it against Devon. So Michael still, with this logic, Michael still has the super heavyweight hammer with him. So that should be the legacy hammer. Michael Todd's right arm hammer, or Travis Bajan's 2016 right arm hammer. One of those should be legacy hammer. Just ask them. Ask Michael Todd where is his super heavyweight hammer that he was defending against Devon in 2018 when he defeated Devon. Michael was the defending champion, so he must have that hammer somewhere. I thought it was just Michael's hammer that he took it with him, and but apparently Devon gave his own hammer to Michael. So Michael had two hammers at that moment. That's it. That's the solution. Ask Michael Todd to give away his legacy hammer, his super heavyweight WL hammer, and then you have that problem solved right there. Pradeep, you did Engin invited you to his podcast about the Makarov match a month ago after he destroyed his reputation. Yes, he did invite me. After he did invite me. Stanley Cup early names also aren't necessarily best of the best. But the question is, were they the best at that time or not? I'm not sure about the Stanley Cup. That's hockey, right? I don't watch it. It is still the most sought after and ultimate symbol in hockey. So the question is, if Stanley Cup started, let's say 100 years ago, had it started 95 years ago, and those names from the first 5 years were removed, would it still not be the most like sought after and ultimate symbol in the game of hockey? So can we do with that with the WL hammer? Since Devon fought in the super heavyweight division against Michael Todd, which he lost in 2018, but then he fought against Michael in the super heavyweight division in 2021 in WL and he won that hammer. Okay, let's have Devon's name on there. But Devon never won in the left arm super heavyweight division. How can you have your name on a thing that represents the best arm wrestler in the world when you never even competed in the super heavyweight division? How does that work? Devon can say, and some others can say that he was the left arm champion when he defeated Pushkar, but the hammers weren't invented back then. That's the problem. You cannot go back in date and then have your name on the hammer just because you were a world champion 2 years before. So how far do we go back? Should we have somebody's name who was the world champion 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, before the hammer was invented? That's the problem. Right arm, I can still get it. Devon won that hammer against Michael Todd 2021, even though technically that match was not for the best arm wrestler in the world. But still, at least it was in the super heavyweight division. At least it was in the super heavyweight division. Denis Iplenkov's name deserves to be on the left arm hammer because once again it was a super heavyweight match in which he defeated Devon. It was not a 225-pound class weight. Do you guys agree with me on this subject? First of all, are we in agreement that Devon was, let's say the hammers were founded in 2014 or 15. From 2014 to 2000, whatever, 2026. Devon has never been the left arm champion of the world, not even the right arm. In the past 12 years, Devon has never been the best arm wrestler in the world, right or left. As we discussed earlier, we can talk about the Ermes Gasparini match where Devon won the East versus West world title. Technically, he was the best because of that. But then we also need to add Jerry's name on it. We also need to add Ermes Gasparini's name on it. But I've never heard Devon speak about those things. He just says that it was me, and then it's sitting with Levan. So there it is. And that's the problem. So since it shows that the legacy hammer is much more valuable, it is much more difficult to get than the East versus West belt, that also kind of doesn't sit well with the organizers of East versus West. Okay, their champions, Jerry, their champion, Ermes Gasparini, they are not good enough to have their names on the hammer. How do you respond to that? My question was, why Engin invited you after he destroyed his reputation? Because sometimes people do not carry their emotions, especially the negative ones, towards someone else forever. Those emotions, those feelings, those those things die with time. The anger dies with time. For sure, Pradeep is always the most logical. Marco GD5, thank you, sir. So somebody pointed, and I was like, I when I look at myself in the videos, I'm sitting like this. I feel like terribly small, even though I am small right now. I'm only weighing only 78 kilos. How much is that? 175 pounds, or maybe even less than that. That is the lightest that I've been in like last 5 years. But still, the way I've set this thing up, it doesn't come with me. Like I'll have to change the setup a little bit. So because of that, my shoulders are here and I'm kind of sitting like this just to get close to the microphone. That's why it looks weird. And somebody clearly, rightfully pointed out, Pradeep, why do you look so small? What's wrong with you? I'm not a Devon fan, as you probably know, but the Legacy X is a good idea. X, does X mean like hammer? What's the relevance of putting an X here? Did Dennis sell the hammer for a hair transplant? He said he transferred it to Artem Morozov. So basically, we have discussed the story of the left arm hammer. Devon never lost, as far as I remember, he never lost the left arm hammer. So only Devon's name was there because it was a 225-pound hammer. Again, the problem with it. So Devon won it, then he defended it, and he never lost it until he lost it to Denis Siplenkov in 2018. Whatever the subject. Okay, yeah, got it. Assume the value of this is x, so some maths equations going on here. So Devon never lost it, then he lost it to Denis Siplenkov, which was the first time that hammer was contested in a super heavyweight match. So rightfully the first name that should be there is Denis Siplenkov, and the only name until now. Maybe now you can put Artem Morozov and then Vitaly Leletin. How are you? I'm fine. Ashu Rana X7N. This is all because Engin didn't want a WL trophy at East versus. And can you really blame him for that? Like, can you really blame him for that? That's all this is. Dennis knew full well he had to pass it on. Yes, you're right. Did Dennis sell the hammer for. No, I don't think he did. So started in 2014 or 15. Right arm hammer had John Brazink's name on it when he won it against Devon 2015. Before that, I think 2014 was Ron Bath. 2016 was Marcio Barboza. 17 was Devon. 18, Devon didn't defend it. He competed in the super heavyweight division. The years can be slightly off. I'm quite sure about the 2015 John Brazing because I saw that match. I've seen all of those matches, but I don't remember the date exactly. Can we all agree that the Legacy Hammer should forever stay with Dennis so we all can continue to enjoy seeing Devon throwing tantrums on a regular basis? I think they could engrave all the lineal champions. We have a historic record on it. Is there even that much space on the hammer? Like, how will you add names on it after 15 years when? Because right now, Devon clearly mentioned do as you wish with the hammer, whatever modifications you want to do it. So, what is stopping someone from engraving their name where they're taking up like more than an inch of vertical space? Like, that could just eat up the entire space of the hammer pretty fast. So, I'm not sure what changes you'll have to do to the hammer to add names on it once you run out of space. So now the only solution to that is, or as we figured out a new solution during this live stream, Michael Todd still, he must have the super heavy right arm hammer. That is the Legacy hammer. Tell Devon that your name doesn't get to be on. Oh, his name can be on it because Devon took it from Michael. So first, Michael Todd. I don't think we need to go back too much, or maybe we do. Then we need to add Dave Chaffee and Travis Bagent. So first we have Dave Chaffee, then we have Travis Bagent, then we have Michael Todd, then we have Devon 2021, then we have Levan. It'll have those five names. Problem solved. No, but the problem isn't for the right arm hammer. What am what am I smoking here? The right arm hammer is still with Levan. Hopefully he's going to return it. If he doesn't, then we can have this solution as well. And about the left arm hammer, get it from Travis. He has plenty of those. He has those from 2015, 16, 17, I think. So Travis Bajent's name is on there, and then whose name is on there? When did Devon didn't beat Travis around that time? I don't think so. He beat Travis in 2011. So then, after Travis, there has to be Denis Siplenkov's name on it. And when Devon sometimes mentions that Travis is also in the argument of the best left-hander, the left-arm goat, are you guys kidding me? Anybody who has said that Travis Bajent's name can be, and don't get me wrong, I started watching arm wrestling because of Travis. Don't tell me that you're a bigger fan of Travis Bajent than I am. I'm a huge Travis Bajent fan. But don't tell me that he's in the same argument as Denis Siplenkov. He wasn't. When your entire arm wrestling career was just built around some sort of luck, I would say, that you won't get caught in false starts, the referee is going to be a little easy on you, and you won't get stopped. As soon as you get stopped, even if the guy is like a 95 kg rank 4 guy in the world, he's also going to beat you. that's that doesn't put you into the conversation of being the left arm goat. Dennis, on the other hand, he got pinned by Andre Pushkar maybe 4 times in his entire career, and I don't remember him getting pinned by anyone else in at least a decade. That is called dominance. I'm new to your arm wrestling channel. I'm new to arm wrestling. Your channel helps me a lot to know about arm wrestling. Thank you, sir. Thank you. The problem is not the hammer as an object itself, it is the object that exchanged hands. So there is useless to simply get Michaels. Yeah, that's what I said. Will it have the same feeling? Will it have the same feeling? Will Devon have the same feeling about it if he wins it back again? Because he knows he never held this hammer. He knows it's not his. Yes, yes. So, do we have any solution here? What's the solution? What should we do about this subject now? You talk like it's just about a hammer and there can be replaced. No, I don't talk about it like that. I'm just giving possible solutions, even though I clearly know that it won't have the same meaning. But we're just trying to find the best solution as of now. The original green hoodie of Devon Larratt can't be replaced by another green hoodie. Yeah. That's why he gave a new one to Levan when he lost to him. Prime Devon pulled 22 times, trying and pin injured Dennis at last. Devon lying in Dennis' hand and pin him. Dennis pulled Devon whole body. Why did Devon write this? Like for some new fans, it's just a meme that Dennis pulled Devon's whole body across the table, right arm. It didn't come from the fans. It came from Devon Larratt. Like, how many of you know this? This line came from Devon himself. He had written it in his home on his whiteboard. That's where this line came from. The fans didn't invent it. Why is Devon crying about the hammer as he's not left arm champion and the champs don't want it? Yeah, you have a point, but then that also shows that he cares about the subject deeply. He cares about the sport. He cares about the legacy of a sport. Yeah, maybe I need to have that. 30-second message thing stop. I never did know where that line came from. It came from Devon. Like, I even kind of forgot about it. It's not that like it was like maybe 2023. That's when people saw that on Devon's channel written in his room. Why would Devon write this? Or maybe that was before the Devon Dennis match. That's when we saw it. Dennis pulled Devon's whole body across the table, right arm. Or left arm, it said. Maybe right arm, I don't remember. Defense Foster. He has been a regular here on the channel, but I'm seeing Defense Foster after a long time tonight. Why Devon didn't ask about the hammer in 2022? Because Dennis was a good friend of Devon. Devon says that he was giving Dennis some time to come back. He got his surgery done 2019. He didn't want to bother him immediately after that, knowing well that he won't be able to return. Maybe he was still hopeful that Dennis will be able to make a comeback and defend it against someone. Even if Devon never had the hammer, he is entitled to want something to win. Right now, there's no hammer to win. That's a good point, too. Match predictions Vitali versus Devon left. You have to go with Vitali. Like, you have to go with Vitali Lalitin. Yes, Devon destroyed Alex Kordecha in their rematch, but I cannot say Morozov destroyed Alex because he did lose a couple of rounds to him. But in the end, he was also beating Alex comfortably in the final round, and or at least in some of the rounds. Dadikian also destroyed Kordecha. I think Vitali will also destroy Kordecha. So just beating Kordecha comfortably doesn't tell us that you can beat Vitali too. That's not how it works. Devon destroyed this channel, man. As what language is that? Is it English? Prime Devon pulled. Bro, I'll have to put you in timeout. You have put the same comment in the chat box at least a dozen times. Is it smooth brained if he didn't understand that he was supposed to pass the hammer? And I don't like this argument at all. Dennis keeps on mentioning that Devon told me this, Devon told me this. Had he told me, then I would have not accepted the hammer, or I would have done what Devon said. He's telling you now, okay, even if we agree that you didn't understand it initially, now you've understood it for last 3 years. Why didn't you do it now? Why don't you return it then? Okay, he wouldn't have accepted the hammer if he knew the conditions, but now he has accepted the hammer. Now he knows the conditions, so he can return it now. What's the problem with that? Chris was banned and their comments were removed. I didn't want to ban you. I just put you in timeout. How did that ban you? Okay, maybe I'll unban you after the stream ends. But I was trying to block this comment, the guy that is putting these comments. Yeah. And Chris, I accidentally banned him. Now it's not even giving me the option to get him back. Dennis understood completely the hammer is supposed to pass from. Yes, I agree with that. The problem is that he was told by Engin not to return it. And this loony haters don't get it. That is entirely possible. That is entirely possible. Just close the legacy hammer topic. If the tournament doesn't exist, then what's the need? It's trophy. So you're talking about WL? Okay, I wanted to discuss a couple of topics in this live. I didn't talk about it in the video, but let's talk about Brian Shaw, Ermes Gasparini, since somebody mentioned it in the beginning of this live that Devon can train Leonidas and Ermes Gasparini can train Brian Shaw. So who do you have as the favorite in that match? This channel moderator as destroyed by Dennis. People are so dumb, it's amazing. Yeah, what was the name? I'm a big fan of that guy, George Carlin. So George Carlin put it in great words. Imagine how dumb an average human being is, right? Just think about that. Just an average human being, imagine how dumb he is. And now imagine that 50% of people are dumber than that. That should tell you something. Dennis pulled down whole body. Man, this chat is destroying me. You simply cannot insult and badmouth grown men and get them to comply or make you happy. Devon has crossed the line too many times. Yes, that point is good because Devon has bothered the European arm wrestlers a lot, especially recently with his trash talks. They don't like him. And now, when they finally got something against him, can you really expect them to not use it against Devon? Let's try to think about it logically. I don't think you can. I think in their own way, whatever they are doing to piss Devon off is kind of justified. It's kind of justified. Engin did say that, but then fight with Devon and certainly destroyed the hammer. And obviously, Morozov saying that he didn't receive the hammer. If Dennis really sent it to him, then he's lying. Or maybe Dennis is lying. He never sent it to him. One of these two guys is definitely lying. So they're saying that the hammer got lost somewhere, and like it's over. Usually things don't like work like that. Did you file a complaint against the shipping company? Did Morozov do that? Can he do that now? They have no honor. They should be honest about it at least. It's not a Devon's trophy. It's something for the fans on the long run, actually. Yeah, that's the logical question that people should be asking Artyom Morozov. When he's saying that it got lost in the transit, like ask Morozov, did he file a complaint? Did he sue the shipping company? Yes, yes. The Legacy Hammer definitely has some value. Devon will buy it for more than $10,000. I'm quite sure if Morozov is willing to sell it. Yeah, maybe that's Devon's next step. That's Devon's next step. If he gets the hammer, then just keep it in your basement, Devon. At least you'll have your memory with you. The idea that you wanted it to become, maybe that's not possible, but just buy it off Morozov and for $10,000 and keep it in your basement. Maybe that's the only solution. Somebody message Morozov for how much money are you willing to sell the legacy hammer? Just somebody do it from this chat. Like go to Morozov's Instagram and tell me on my Instagram maybe, or post it in the comments after this stream has ended. What did he reply with? Like just message Morozov on his Instagram for how much money are you willing to sell the legacy hammer. If he gives the number, then maybe he accepts that the hammer is with him. We started reporting your account. Rest in peace, Pradeep. Yeah, thank you for that. Dennis is willing to hide the hammer from the champ to get back at Devon. Such honor. Devon got exposed lying and making up fake stories for years and pulling victim card. Devon is lucky that he didn't pull Dennis on right arm in 2014. Yeah, Dennis would have won back then. For sure. I don't disagree with that. Is Levan's arm already healed? Not completely, not to the extent where he can decide to compete again. I have another live stream scheduled, and in that live, I'll be discussing the Engin versus Isa story. I don't think it was big enough to be, or a topic important enough to be covered in a video where 15,000 people, 14,000 people will watch it. But surely we can discuss it in a live stream where maybe 1,500 people will watch it. We started reporting your account. Okay. Focus GT official. Thank you for doing that. Prime Dennis flash pins any version of Devon. Not this version. Not this version. Nonsense. Current Devon beats Prime Dennis. Yes, I do agree with that. Where's your golden play button? I don't even have a silver play button. People have stopped subscribing to the channel. And I honestly speaking, I don't really mind it as long as the views are coming. But the views have also dropped because I'm not uploading enough content. And YouTube rewards consistency, frequency. Either you put so much effort into a single video that people look forward to watching it even though they've watched the same subject on multiple channels. This usually works for the big channels. Or your consistent speed is there. One of the two things needs to be there. And currently I've been lacking both since August 2025. It's like the ring in the movie Lord of Rings, how they're obsessed with it. My precious. Yeah. Yeah. But here only Devon is obsessed with it. That's the difference. Arm wrestling in general is down. Yeah, the views on all of the channels is down in past maybe last 1 year. It bothers me that you aren't the number one arm wrestling YouTuber, not gonna lie. So I have like, I don't even know how many subscribers I have, maybe 58, close to 58. And I've put more than 2,000 videos. So on average, a video gives me only 2.5 subscribers, one video. And on the Hindi channel, when I used to upload videos on my Hindi channel, it used to easily, every single video used to give me like maybe 30, 50, 40 subscribers. So in India, if you upload videos, people reward you with subscriptions, but then it doesn't really pay you money. So here's the trade-off. Pretty sure Pradeep is number one in view at least. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Right now, the channel views are down. I got a notification yesterday for watch hours. I can show you that. How many watch hours I have on the channel. You can check it without that too. Yeah. You're crushing it. You have racked up 15,000 watch hours. So watch time hours, that shows 100,000, 1.909 million watch hours. That's how many hours my videos have been watched. Almost 2 million hours. And when we talk about the views, let me show you the lifetime views of the channel. Good evening, everyone. Morning Star K21. Less drama, less view. That's how the sport is working. Bro, you need to go from here. You're repeating the same comment again and again. Spamming the chat. Let's go to views. Is there a lifetime option? Yes, there is a lifetime option. How many views is that? Is that 50 million? Arm wrestling in India is kind of getting huge. Yes, yes. What do you think? Is that WDYT? Yeah, arm wrestling in India will be pretty big. It's a self sustainable market. That's something that is not really possible in any other part of the world. WL kind of did it with only American arm wrestlers, but they too had Canadians and eventually somebody from Europe. But India is just a self sustainable market. It can thrive with just Indians competing. It's a completely different thing. Prime Dennis had more chance to beat Levan. Lack of new interesting athletes and nothing going on in the arm wrestling world. So no wonder. No, so in the past when I used to talk about Dennis, so if Dennis was in the thumbnail in the videos, whatever he said, I'm discussing it. It used to get like 30,000 views. Now it gets like 13,000 views. So there's definitely a difference. Maybe it's just my channel. Maybe it's just that the interest in arm wrestling is going down. I'm not sure. Yeah, with that being said, I think the voting time is almost over. Almost over. You can go to the East versus West Awards page. You can check the community tab on my channel and you can wait for your best arm wrestling moment, favorite arm wrestler, fan favorite arm wrestler, best arm wrestling match, best newcomer, and then And then best arm wrestling news outlet, definitely vote for me if you go there. No, I will not invite Isa over there. I'll just discuss the details in brief. The message that Isa shared in his video, the summary of that, and then Engin's response to that, because Engin has also responded to that. Full form of PAL. Man, People's Arm Wrestling. How did I forget? Professional Arm Wrestling League. It has been a thing in the past. Professional Arm Wrestling League. People's Arm Wrestling League. I think Dennis ruined his health from using way too much steroids. There's not as much trash talking videos by the athletes and not as many events lately. Could be why the views are down. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Arm wrestling snooze with Rob Deep. Yep. Thanks. Bro, if Dennis never got sick, he's now at place of Levan. No, I don't think so. Levan will still beat everyone. But in the views, you can see that the graph is going down for the channel. It peaked at around 2024 in the early part of 2024, and since then it's not even consistent. It's slightly going downwards. 50.45 million views on the channel. Not many of them are short views, so maybe a couple of million, maybe 3 million views are from shorts, and the rest 48.5 million views are from long form content. It ends in 14 hours, yes, but the whole thing was for like 10 days or 8 days, something like that. And now we'll discuss the Isa versus Engin story. That will be in a different live, but you'll be automatically routed to that live stream. You won't have to do anything for that. Let's meet there.